These parallel selves, these other I ams of you, are constantly reaching out, trying to communicate with you, to guide you towards your highest good, your greatest potential. They are you after all, and they want nothing more than to see you succeed, to see you manifest your deepest desires and live your most fulfilled life. But how, you might ask, can these parallel versions of you communicate across the boundaries of reality? How can they send you messages, guideposts, and signs to help you on your journey? The answer, my friends, lies in the very fabric of your daily existence, in the seemingly mundane occurrences that you might otherwise overlook. Let us delve deeper into these signs, these whispers from your parallel selves. The first sign you might notice is a sudden and inexplicable feeling of déjà vu. You find yourself in a situation that feels eerily familiar, as if you've lived it before. This, my dear listeners, is not merely a trick of the mind or a glitch in your memory. It is a moment when the veil between realities thins, and you are glimpsing a parallel version of yourself who has indeed experienced this very moment. In these instances of déjà vu, pause and reflect. What is this parallel self trying to tell you? Perhaps they are urging you to pay closer attention to this moment, to the people around you, or to the decisions you are about to make. They have lived this experience and know its significance. Trust in this feeling, for it is a sign that you are on the right path, that you are aligning with the infinite possibilities of your being. The second sign that your parallel self is reaching out to you comes in the form of synchronicities. These are those magical moments when the universe seems to align perfectly, when coincidences become too meaningful to ignore. You think of an old friend and suddenly they call you after years of silence. You need a specific piece of information and it appears before you in a book that falls open to the exact page you need. These synchronicities are not mere chance, my friends. They are the result of your parallel selves working in concert with the universe to guide you towards your desires. They are showing you that the world is far more interconnected than you might believe, that your thoughts and intentions have power beyond the confines of your immediate reality. When you experience these synchronicities, acknowledge them with gratitude. Understand that they are signposts on your journey, placed there by versions of you who have already walked this path. They are telling you to keep going, to trust in the process, to have faith in the unfolding of your desires. The third sign from your parallel self manifests in your dreams. Have you ever had a dream so vivid, so real, that upon waking you felt as if you had truly lived it? These are not mere fantasies conjured by your sleeping mind. They are glimpses into the lives of your parallel selves, windows into the realities they inhabit. In these dreams, pay close attention to the details, to the emotions you feel, to the choices you make. Your parallel self is showing you possibilities, alternatives, potential futures. They are giving you the gift of experience without the need to physically live it. Use these dreams as a guide, as inspiration for the life you wish to create in your current reality. Perhaps in your dream you see yourself confidently speaking before a large audience, sharing your wisdom and inspiring others. This is not just a fantasy, but a reality that one of your parallel selves is living. They are showing you your own potential, urging you to step into your power and share your voice with the world. The fourth sign comes in the form of sudden, unexplained emotions or mood shifts. You might find yourself overwhelmed with joy for no apparent reason, or struck by a wave of melancholy that seems to come from nowhere. These emotional surges are not random or meaningless. They are echoes of the experiences of your parallel selves rippling across the boundaries of reality to touch your consciousness. When you feel these sudden emotions, do not dismiss them or try to suppress them. Instead, sit with them, explore them. Ask yourself, what is this feeling trying to tell me? What experience from a parallel reality am I tapping into? These emotions are messages carrying wisdom and insights from other versions of you. If you feel a sudden surge of confidence, know that a parallel self has just achieved a great victory. and is sharing the triumph with you. If you feel an inexplicable sense of loss, perhaps a parallel self is going through a challenging time and is seeking your strength and resilience. In acknowledging and embracing these emotions, you create a bridge between realities, allowing for a flow of energy and support in both directions. The fifth sign that your parallel self is communicating with you is through sudden flashes of inspiration or insight. These are those aha moments when a brilliant idea seems to come out of nowhere, or when you suddenly understand something that had previously eluded you. These bursts of clarity are gifts from your parallel selves sharing their knowledge and experiences with you. In these moments of inspiration, act quickly. Write down your ideas, make plans to implement them, share them with others. Your parallel self is offering you a shortcut, a way to bypass years of trial and error. They have already walked the path and are showing you the most direct route to your desires. Remember, my dear friends, that these flashes of inspiration are not random. They are carefully chosen messages selected by your parallel selves for their relevance to your current situation and your deepest desires. Trust in them, for they are guiding you towards your highest good. The sixth sign from your parallel self comes through your physical sensations. You might experience unexplained chills, a sudden warmth spreading through your body, or a tingling sensation in your hands or the crown of your head. These physical manifestations are your body's way of interpreting the energy flowing from your parallel selves. When you feel these sensations, take a moment to center yourself and tune in. What is your body trying to tell you? Perhaps the chills are a sign that you're on the right track, that you're aligning with your highest path. The warmth might be a message of love and support from a parallel self who has overcome a challenge you're currently facing. These physical signs are reminders of the deep connection between your body, mind, and spirit, and the vast network of parallel selves that exist beyond your current perception. They are calls to pay attention, to be present in your body, and to trust in the wisdom it holds. The seventh sign manifests in the form of recurring numbers or symbols. You might find yourself constantly seeing a particular number sequence, 1111 on the clock, 333 on a license plate, 555 in a phone number. Or perhaps a certain symbol keeps appearing in your life, a feather, a particular animal, or a specific shape. These recurring numbers and symbols are not mere coincidences. They are messages encoded by your parallel selves, using the universal language of symbolism to communicate with you. Each number, each symbol carries a specific vibration and meaning. Your parallel selves are using just to send you guidance, encouragement, and reminders of your infinite potential. When you notice these recurring patterns, take a moment to reflect on their meaning. What was on your mind when you saw them? What emotions were you feeling? The context in which these signs appear is often as important as the signs themselves. Your parallel selves are trying to draw your attention to something specific in your life, urging you to look deeper, to see beyond the surface. The eighth sign comes through the people you encounter in your daily life. Have you ever met someone who seemed oddly familiar, even though you're sure you've never met them before? Or perhaps you've had a conversation with a stranger that left you feeling profoundly changed. These encounters are orchestrated by your parallel selves, using the interconnected web of human relationships to bring you exactly what you need. These people are messengers, carrying wisdom and insights from your parallel selves. They might offer you advice that resonates deeply, share a story that inspires you, or simply be a presence that reminds you of your own inner strength. Pay attention to these encounters, for they are far from random. Your parallel selves understand the power of human connection, of the exchanging of energies between individuals. They are using this power to guide you, to offer you perspectives and opportunities that you might not have access to in your current reality. Be open to these encounters, engage fully with these messengers, for they are playing a crucial role in your journey of self-realization. The ninth sign from your parallel self is a sudden shift in your perceptions or beliefs. You might find yourself questioning long-held assumptions, seeing familiar situations in a completely new light, or feeling drawn to ideas and concepts that you previously dismissed. These shifts are not mere changes of mind, but rather alignments with the expanded consciousness of your parallel selves. Remember, my dear listeners, that your parallel selves have lived different lives, made different choices, and gained different perspectives. When they reach out to you, they bring with them the wisdom of their experiences. They are offering you the opportunity to expand your own consciousness, to see beyond the limitations of your current reality. Embrace these shifts in perception. Allow yourself to question, to explore, to see the world through new eyes. Your parallel selves are showing you that reality is far more flexible, far more malleable than you might have believed. They are inviting you to step into a broader understanding of yourself and the universe. The 10th and final sign that your parallel self is sending you a message comes through your own inner voice, your intuition. This is that quiet whisper within you that knows, that understands, that guides you towards your highest good. Your intuition is the direct line of communication between you and your parallel selves, the channel through which their wisdom flows most clearly. When you feel a strong gut feeling, an inexplicable knowing, or a persistent inner urging, pay attention. This is not just your own mind speaking, but the collective wisdom of all your parallel selves distilled into a single, powerful message. Your intuition is your most direct connection to the infinite possibilities of your being. Trust in this inner voice, my friends. Cultivate it, strengthen it. Learn to distinguish it from the chatter of your everyday thoughts. Your parallel selves are constantly sending you guidance through this channel, offering you the benefit of their collective experiences and insights. Now, my dear listeners, as we delve deeper into this concept of communication from our parallel selves, let us consider how we can more actively engage with these messages, how we can strengthen the connection between our current self and our infinite parallel selves. The first step in this process is awareness. Begin to cultivate a state of heightened awareness in your daily life. Pay attention to the details around you, to the subtle shifts in your emotions, to the seemingly random thoughts that flit through your mind. Each of these could be a message from a parallel self, a piece of the cosmic puzzle that is your existence. As you move through your day, hold the intention of being open to these messages. Set the expectation that your parallel selves will communicate with you, and watch as the signs begin to multiply. Remember, what you focus on expands. By directing your attention towards these signs, you are effectively opening more channels of communication between realities. The next step is interpretation. As you become more aware of the signs around you, begin to develop your own personal system of meaning. Perhaps certain numbers hold special significance for you, or specific animals carry particular messages. Trust in your own intuition to guide you in understanding these signs. Remember, my friends, that the language of the universe, the language of your parallel selves, is deeply personal. While there may be universal symbols and meanings, the most powerful interpretations will come from your own inner knowing. Trust in your ability to understand these messages, for you are, after all, communicating with yourself. As you interpret these signs, look for patterns and connections. Your parallel selves are not sending random, disconnected messages, but rather a coherent stream of guidance and wisdom. One sign may build upon another, creating a more complete picture of the path you are meant to follow. The third step in engaging with your parallel selves is action. It is not enough to simply receive and interpret their messages. You must act upon them, integrate them into your life, allow them to guide your choices and behaviors. This is how you honor the connection with your parallel selves, how you show your readiness to receive more guidance. When you receive a sign or message, ask yourself, how can I apply this in my life? What action can I take based on this guidance? Perhaps a recurring number sequence is urging you to be more patient, or a dream is encouraging you to pursue a long-forgotten passion. Whatever the message, find a way to embody it in your daily life. As you take action based on these messages, you will find that the communication becomes clearer, more frequent, more profound. You are showing your parallel selves that you are ready and willing to receive their guidance, that you are an active participant in this cosmic dance of self-realization. The fourth step in this process is gratitude. Express thankfulness for each sign, each message, each moment of connection with your parallel selves. Gratitude is a powerful force that opens you up to receive more abundance, more guidance, more love from the universe, and from all aspects of yourself. When you notice a sign from your parallel self, pause for a moment and silently say thank you. Acknowledge the effort it takes to send these messages across the boundaries of reality. Appreciate the love and support that your parallel selves are constantly offering you. This attitude of gratitude will not only strengthen your connection with your parallel selves, but will also shift your overall vibration to one of positivity and receptivity. You will find yourself noticing more signs, receiving clearer messages, and feeling a deeper sense of connection with all aspects of yourself. The fifth step is to share your experiences with others. As you become more attuned to the messages from your parallel selves, share your insights and experiences with those around you. This serves multiple purposes. First, it helps to reinforce your own beliefs and experiences. By articulating them to others, you are affirming their reality for yourself. Secondly, sharing your experiences can help to awaken others to the possibility of communication with their own parallel selves. You become a messenger yourself, a bridge between realities not just for yourself, but for others as well. In doing so, you contribute to the expansion of collective consciousness, helping to create a world more open to the infinite possibilities of existence. Lastly, by sharing your experiences, you open yourself up to learning from others. You may find that others have had similar experiences or have different interpretations of signs that you've received. This exchange of ideas and experiences can further enrich your understanding and deepen your connection with your parallel selves. The sixth step in this process is to actively seek communication with your parallel selves. While many of the signs we've discussed may seem to come unbidden, you can also take a more proactive approach in establishing this connection. One powerful way to do this is through meditation. Set aside time each day to sit in quiet contemplation. As you settle into a state of calm awareness, set the intention to connect with your parallel selves. Visualize yourself surrounded by infinite versions of you, each living out a different possibility of your life. Feel the energy that connects all these selves, the common thread of consciousness that runs through each version of you. As you hold this visualization, open yourself to receiving messages from these parallel selves. You might receive these as thoughts, images, feelings, or sensations. Trust whatever comes through, no matter how subtle or seemingly insignificant. With practice, this form of active communication will become stronger and clearer. The seventh step is to journal your experiences. Keep a record of the signs you receive, the messages you interpret, and the actions you take based on this guidance. This journal serves multiple purposes. It helps you to recognize patterns over time, to see the thread of guidance that your parallel selves are weaving through your life. Additionally, the act of writing itself can be a form of communication with your parallel selves. As you put pen to paper or fingers to keyboard, allow yourself to write freely, without censorship or judgment. You may find that insights and messages flow through you onto the page. Your hand becoming a conduit for the wisdom of your parallel selves. Reviewing your journal regularly can also help to strengthen your faith in this process. As you look back over your entries, you'll likely see how the guidance you've received has positively influenced your life. How the actions you've taken based on these messages have led you towards your desires and goals. The eighth step in engaging with your parallel selves is to practice lucid dreaming. As we discussed earlier, dreams are a powerful way for your parallel selves to communicate with you. By developing the ability to become conscious within your dreams, you can more actively engage with these messages and even potentially communicate directly with your parallel selves. There are various techniques you can use to induce lucid dreams, such as reality checks throughout the day, setting strong intentions before sleep, and keeping a dream journal. As you become more proficient at lucid dreaming, set the intention to meet and communicate with your parallel selves within the dreamscape. In these lucid dream encounters, you may receive direct guidance, experience alternative realities, or gain insights into your own infinite potential. The dream world is a place where the boundaries between realities are more fluid, making it an ideal environment for this type of communication. The ninth step is to pay attention to your energy levels and physical sensations throughout the day. Your parallel selves often communicate through your body, sending you messages in the form of energy surges, tingling sensations, or sudden changes in your physical state. Start to map these physical sensations to different types of messages or guidance. Perhaps a tingling in your hands indicates that you're on the right path, or a warmth in your heart chakra signifies a message of love and support from a parallel self. By becoming more attuned to these physical signs, you create another channel of communication with your parallel selves. The 10th and final step in this process is to live as if you are in constant communication with your parallel selves. Embody the wisdom they share with you. Make choices as if you have access to infinite knowledge and experience, because in truth you do. Your parallel selves are not separate from you, they are you, experiencing different aspects of your infinite potential. By living in alignment with their guidance, you are stepping into the fullness of who you truly are. As you practice these steps, you will find that the boundaries between you and your parallel selves begin to blur. You'll start to feel a sense of expansion, of limitless possibility. The challenges in your life will begin to seem less daunting, for you'll know that there are versions of you who have already overcome them, who are sending you their strength and wisdom. Remember, my dear friends, that this communication with your parallel selves is not about escaping your current reality or wishing for a different life. It is about enriching your present experience, about tapping into the vast reservoir of wisdom and potential that exists within you. It is about recognizing that you are far more than this single expression of self, that you are in fact infinite. As you open yourself to these messages from your parallel selves, you may find that your perception of time begins to shift. Past, present, and future may start to feel less linear, more interconnected. This is because your parallel selves exist across all possibilities, all time lengths. In communicating with them, you are tapping into the eternal now, the place where all possibilities exist simultaneously. Embrace this expanded perception of reality. Allow it to free you from limiting beliefs about what is possible in your life. Your parallel selves are showing you that anything you can imagine, anything you can dream, is not only possible, but is already happening in some version of reality. Your task is simply to align with that version, to bring that possibility into your current experience. As we conclude this exploration of the signs that your parallel self is trying to send you a message, I urge you to remain open, vigilant, and receptive. The universe and all versions of you within it is constantly communicating with you, guiding you towards your highest expression of self. Trust in this process, trust in yourself, trust in the infinite wisdom that is your birthright. Go forth, my friends, with the knowledge that you are never alone, that you are supported by countless versions of yourself across infinite realities. Listen for their whispers, watch for their signs, feel their presence in every moment. And as you do, know that you are awakening to the true magnitude of your being, to the limitless potential that is you. I want you to take a moment and really contemplate these words. It's coming. What is this that we speak of? It is everything you have ever desired, everything you have ever imagined for yourself, everything you have ever dared to dream. And when we say trust in divine timing, we are acknowledging the perfect orchestration of the universe, the empirical timing of God, which is your own wonderful human imagination. You see, my dear friends, the world you see around you is nothing more than the outpicturing of your own consciousness. Everything you experience in your physical reality is a reflection of your inner world, your thoughts, your beliefs, and most importantly, your imaginal acts. And just as there is perfect order in the universe, there is perfect timing in the manifestation of your desires. But let us dive deep into this concept. When we say as coming, we are affirming a fundamental truth of the universe, that which you have imagined, that which you have felt real in your imagination must inevitably come to pass in your physical experience. This is not wishful thinking, my friends. This is law. Consider for a moment the words of Scripture. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. What does this mean? It means that your faith, your unwavering belief in the reality of your imagined state, is the very substance that brings it into being. Your faith is the evidence of your desire's fulfillment, even before it is made manifest in the physical world. Now, some of you may be thinking, but Neville, I have been imagining and believing for so long, and still my desire has not come to pass. And to you I say, trust in divine timing. For just as a seed planted in the ground needs time to germinate and grow before it breaks through the surface, your imaginal acts need time to grow and develop in the unseen realm before they burst forth into your physical reality. Remember, my dear friends, that time is a construct of the human mind. In the realm of spirit, in the realm of your imagination, there is no time. All is now. When you imagine your desire fulfilled, when you step into the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you are experiencing it now in the spiritual realm. And it is this experience, this feeling, that sets in motion the series of events that will bring about its physical manifestation. But you must persist. You must live from the end, continuously dwelling in the state of wish fulfilled. For it is your persistent assumption that gives life to your desire. As you continue to live in the end, as you continue to feel the reality of your desire fulfilled, you are watering the seed you have planted in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind. Let me share with you a simple yet powerful technique to help you maintain this state of living in the end. Before you go to sleep each night, I want you to imagine a scene that implies the fulfillment of your desire. Make it as vivid and as real as you possibly can. Engage all your senses. Feel the joy, the satisfaction, the gratitude of having this desire fulfilled. As you drift off to sleep in this state, you are impregnating your subconscious mind with the reality of your desire. And your subconscious mind, being the faithful servant that it is, will work tirelessly through the night to bring about the conditions necessary for the manifestation of your desire. Now, some of you may be wondering, but Neville, what about action? Don't we need to do something to bring about our desires? And to this I say, inspired action will come naturally as you live in the state of the wish fulfilled. You see, when you truly believe that your desire is already yours, when you live from that state of completion, you will naturally be moved to take the actions that are in alignment with the fulfillment of your desire. But remember, these actions are not the cause of your desire's fulfillment. They are the effect. They are the bridge of incidents that your subconscious mind constructs to lead you to the physical realization of your imagined state. Your job is not to figure out how your desire will come about. Your job is simply to persist in the assumption that it's already done. Trust in divine timing, my friends, for the universe, which is nothing more than the outpicturing of your own wonderful human imagination, knows the perfect segmentation and perfect way to bring your desires into entity. Your desires are already fulfilled in the spiritual realm. They are already yours. and they are making their way to you through the medium of time and space. But let us delve even deeper into this concept of divine timing. You see, my dear friends, time as we perceive it in our physical reality is but an illusion. In the realm of spirit, in the realm of your imagination, all times exist simultaneously. The past, the present, and the future are one. This is why when you imagine your desire fulfilled, when you step into the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you are experiencing it now. This understanding is crucial, for it liberates you from the anxious waiting, from the constant checking to see if your desire has manifested. When you truly grasp that your desire is already yours in the spiritual realm, you can relax into the knowing that its physical manifestation is inevitable. You can trust in the perfect unfolding of events that will bring it into your experience. Consider for a moment the growth of a tree. When you plant a seed, do you dig it up every day to see if it has sprouted? Of course not. You trust in the natural process of growth. You water it, you ensure it has sunlight. And you wait patiently, knowing that in due time the tree will emerge. The same is true for the seeds of your desires that you plant in your imagination. Your job is to plant the seed through your imaginal act, to water it with your persistent assumption, and to trust in the natural process of growth and manifestation. Just as you would not rush a tree to grow faster, you cannot rush the manifestation of your desires. Divine timing knows the perfect moment for your desire to come into fruition. Some of you may be thinking, but Neville, what if I'm climbing something that seems impossible? What if the circumstances of my life seem to contradict my desire? And to this I say circumstances do not matter. Your imagination is creating reality. The circumstances you see now are nothing more than the flashbacks of your past imagining. As you change your imagining, as you persist in the new state, the circumstances of your life will inevitably change to conform to your new mental state. Remember the words of Scripture, with God all things are possible. And who is this God? It is your own wonderful human imagination. There is no limit to what you can be, do, or have when you harness the creative power of your imagination. The only limits that exist are those you place upon yourself through your beliefs and assumptions. So I urge you, my dear friend, to dare to imagine greatly. Dare to step into your wish fulfilled, no matter how impossible it may seem from your current standpoint. For as you do this, as you persist in this new state, you are literally rearranging the entire universe to bring about the fulfillment of your desire. But remember, persistence is key. You must not waver in your assumption. You must not be moved by the evidence of your physical senses. For what you see now is the result of your past thinking. It is the harvest of seeds planted in the past. As you persist in your new state, as you continue to live from the end, you are planting new seeds that will inevitably bear fruit in your physical reality. Let me share with you a powerful practice to help you maintain a state of persistence. Throughout your day, whenever you have a moment, ask yourself this question: how would I feel if my desire were already fulfilled? Then step into that feeling. Feel it as intensely and as vividly as you can. Feel the joy, the satisfaction, the gratitude of having your desire fulfilled. As you do this consistently, you are training your subconscious mind to accept this new state as your reality. And remember, your subconscious mind does not distinguish between what is imagined and what is physically real. It accepts as true whatever you impress upon it with feeling. So as you persist in feeling the reality of your desire fulfilled, your subconscious mind accepts this as fact and begins to work tirelessly to bring it into your physical experience. Now let us address another aspect of divine timing that is often misunderstood. Many people believe that divine timing means sitting back passively and waiting for their desires to manifest. But this is not the case at all. Divine timing is not about inaction. It is about inspired action. You see, when you are living from the end, when you are truly dwelling in the state of the wish fulfilled, you will be naturally moved to take actions that are in alignment with the fulfillment of your desire. These actions will not feel forced or strained. They will feel natural and effortless as if you are simply playing your part in a play that has already been written. This is the true meaning of divine timing. It is the perfect orchestration of events, circumstances, and inspired actions that lead to the manifestation of your desire. Your job is not to force these actions or to try to make things happen through sheer will. Your job is to maintain the state of the wish fulfilled and to follow the promptings of your intuition, the inner guidance that naturally arises from this state. Remember, my dear friends, that the universe is infinitely abundant. There is no lack or limitation in the spiritual realm. Whatever you can imagine, whatever you can feel as real, is yours for the taking. But you must claim it. You must step into the feeling of its reality now, not at some future time. This brings us to another crucial aspect of trusting in divine timing, detachment from the when and how. Many people make the mistake of trying to dictate exactly when and how their desire will manifest. But in doing so, they are limiting the infinite ways in which the universe will see about their desire. Instead, I urge you to focus solely on the end result. Feel the reality of having your desire fulfilled now. Live from that state and then release any attachment to when or how it will come about. Trust that the universe, which is nothing more than your own wonderful human imagination, externalized, knows the perfect timing and the perfect way to bring your desire into physical form. This detachment is not indifference. It is not a lack of desire. On the contrary, it is the ultimate expression of faith. It is saying to the universe, I trust you completely. I know that my desire is already mine in the spiritual realm, and I know that you will bring it into my physical experience in the perfect way and at the perfect time. Now, some of you may be wondering, but Neville, what if I have multiple desires? How can I focus on all of them at once? And to this I say you don't need to. Focus on the feeling of fulfillment, but the feeling of having all your desires realized. Step into the state of the person who has everything they want. Feel the joy, the satisfaction, the completeness of that state. As you do this, you are aligning yourself with the frequency of fulfillment. And from this state, all your individual desires will naturally begin to manifest. For when you are in a state of fulfillment, when you are vibrating at the frequency of having it all, the universe has no choice but to reflect that back to you in your physical reality. Let us now explore another aspect of divine timing that is often overlooked, the concept of divine order. You see, my dear friends, everything in the universe happens in perfect order. Just as there is a natural order to the seasons, to the growth of a plant, to the development of a child in the womb, there is a natural order to the manifestation of your desires. Sometimes, certain things need to fall into place before your desire can manifest in its fullness. Certain experiences may be necessary for your growth and development. Certain people may need to enter or exit your life. Certain lessons may need to be learned. All of this is part of the perfect unfolding of your desire. This is why it's crucial to trust in divine timing. For what may seem like a delay or a setback from your limited human perspective may actually be a necessary step in the perfect unfoldment of your desire. Every experience, every circumstance, and every person you encounter is playing a role in bringing you to the full realization of your desire. So instead of becoming frustrated or discouraged when things don't seem to be moving as quickly as you'd like, I urge you to cultivate an attitude of curiosity and wonder. Look for the lessons, the growth opportunities, the hidden blessings in every situation. Trust that everything is working together for your good, even if you can't see how in the moment. Remember the words of Scripture. All things work together for good to them that love God. And again, who is this God? It is your own wonderful human imagination. When you love your imagination, when you trust in its power to create your reality, everything in your life begins to work together for your good. Now let us address a question that often arises when discussing divine timing, the concept of resistance. Many people believe that if they are experiencing resistance or challenges, it means they are doing something wrong or that their desire is not meant to be. But this is not the case at all. This test is a natural part of the creative process. It is the universe's way of strengthening you, of preparing you for the fulfillment of your desire. Just as a muscle must encounter resistance to grow stronger, you too must encounter and overcome resistance to grow into the person who can embody and maintain the state of your wish fulfilled. So when you encounter resistance, do not be discouraged. Instead, see it as a sign that you are on the right path. See it as an opportunity to strengthen your faith, to deepen your commitment to your desire. Use it as a chance to practice living from the end, to persist in your assumption, even in the face of contrary evidence. Remember, the circumstances you see now are nothing more than the fruit of your past imagining. As you persist in your new state, as you continue to live from the climb despite the seeming resistance, you are planting new seeds that will inevitably bear fruit in your physical reality. This brings us to another crucial aspect of trusting in divine timing, the importance of being in gratitude. Gratitude is not just a feeling, it is a state of being. When you are truly grateful, you are acknowledging that you already have what you desire. You are aligning yourself with the frequency of abundance and fulfillment. I encourage you to cultivate an attitude of gratitude, not just for what you have now, but for what is coming. Give thanks for your desire as if it already manifested. Feel the joy, the excitement, the appreciation for its fulfillment now, not at some future time. As you do this, you are sending a powerful message to the universe. You are saying, I trust you completely. You know that my desire is already mine, and I am grateful for its manifestation. This attitude of gratitude accelerates the manifestation process, for it aligns you more fully with the state of having your desire fulfilled. Now let's delve into another aspect of timing that is often misunderstood, the concept of divine preparation. You see, my dear friends, sometimes there is a period of preparation that must occur before your desire can manifest in its fullness. This preparation may involve inner work, shifts in your consciousness, changes in your circumstances, or the alignment of certain external factors. During this period of preparation, it may seem as though nothing is happening. You may feel as though you are in a holding pattern, waiting for something to change. But I assure you, a great deal is happening behind the scenes. The universe is rearranging itself, setting the stage for the grand manifestation of your desire. This period of preparation is crucial. It is during this time that you are being molded and shaped into the person who can fully embody and maintain the state of your wish fulfilled. You are being given the experiences, the insights, the growth opportunities that will enable you to step fully into the reality of your desire. So instead of becoming impatient or discouraged during this period of preparation, I urge you to embrace it. Use this time to deepen your faith, to strengthen your conviction, to more fully align yourself with the state of the wish fulfilled. Trust that everything is unfolding perfectly, even if you can't see the full picture yet. Remember the words of Scripture. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Your faith during this period of preparation is the very substance that is bringing your desire into being. It is the evidence of its fulfillment, even before it is manifest in the physical world. Now let us address another crucial aspect of trusting in divine timing, the importance of letting go. This may seem paradoxical. How can you persist in your assumption while also letting go? But this letting go is not about abandoning your desire. It's about releasing your attachment to the outcome, your need to control the process. You see, when you're attached to a specific outcome, when you are trying to control how, and when your desire will manifest, you are actually limiting the infinite ways in which the universe can bring it about. You are saying to the universe, it must happen this way, and at this time. But the universe, in its infinite wisdom and abundance, may have an even better way, a way that you cannot even conceive of from your limited human perspective. So I urge you to let go. Release your grip on the how and the when. Trust that the universe knows the perfect timing and the perfect way to bring your desire into physical form. Your job is simply to maintain the state of the wish fulfilled, to live from the end, and to follow the promptings of your intuition. This letting go is not passive. It is not giving up. On the contrary, it is the ultimate act of faith. It is saying to the universe, I trust you completely. I know that my desire is already mine in the spiritual realm. And I know that you will bring it into my physical experience in the most perfect way and at the most perfect time. As you practice this letting go, you will find that a great sense of peace and ease comes over you. The anxiety, the constant checking to see if your desire has manifested falls away. You can relax into the knowing that it is done, that it is coming, that divine timing is at work. Now, let us explore another aspect of divine timing that is often overlooked, the concept of divine alignment. You see, my dear friends, sometimes the delay in the manifestation of your desire is not a delay at all. It's just the universe aligning all the necessary elements to bring about your desire in its fullest and most magnificent form. Think of it like a grand symphony. Each instrument must come in at precisely the right moment for the music to be harmonic and beautiful. If even one instrument is out of time, the entire piece is affected. The same is true for the manifestation of your desires. Each element, each person, each circumstance must come into alignment at precisely the right moment for your desire to manifest in its most perfect form. This is why patience is so crucial in the manifestation process. Not a passive patience that sits back and waits, but an active patience that continues to live from that continues to align with the frequency of the wish fulfilled, even as you wait for all the elements to come into perfect alignment. Remember, in the realm of spirit, in the realm of your imagination, your desire is already fulfilled. It is already yours. The physical manifestation is simply the outer world catching up to what is already true in the spiritual realm. And just as it takes time for a physical CLD to grow into a mighty oak, it takes time for the seed of your desire to grow and manifest in the physical world. But make no mistake, my dear friends, it is coming. Your desire is on its way to you. Divine timing is at work, orchestrating all the elements necessary for its perfect manifestation. Your job is simply to hold fast to your faith, to persist in your assumption, and to trust in the perfect unfolding of the universe. Now let us address a question that often arises when discussing divine timing, the concept of divine detours. Sometimes on the path to the manifestation of your desire, you may encounter what seems like a detour. You may find yourself in situations or circumstances that seem to be taking you away from your desired outcome. But I assure you there are no real detours in the divine plan. Every experience, every circumstance, every person you encounter is playing a role in bringing you to the full realization of your desire. What may seem like a detour from your limited human perspective actually be the most direct path to the fulfillment of your desire. These seeming detours often provide invaluable lessons, experiences, or connections that are necessary for the full manifestation of your desire. They may be preparing you, strengthening you, or aligning you more fully with the state of the wish fulfilled. So when you encounter what seems like a detour, instead of becoming discouraged or losing faith, I urge you to ask yourself, how is this experience serving me? What lessons or growth opportunities is it providing? How is it preparing me for the full realization of my desire? As you do this, you begin to see every experience, every circumstance as a gift. You begin to trust more fully in the perfect unfolding of the universe. You begin to understand that divine timing is always at work, always guiding you towards the most perfect manifestation of your desire. Remember, my dear friends, that the universe is infinitely abundant and endlessly creative. It has ways of bringing about your desire that you cannot even conceive of from your current standpoint. So trust in its wisdom. Trust in its perfect timing. Trust that it is always working for your highest good. Now, as we near the end of our time together, I want to leave you with a powerful practice to help you align more fully with divine timing. Each night before you go to sleep, I want you to imagine yourself at the end of a perfect day. A day in which all your desires have been fulfilled. Feel the satisfaction, the joy, the gratitude of having everything you've ever wanted. As you drift off to sleep in this state, You are impregnating your subconscious mind with the reality of your desires fulfilled. You are aligning yourself with the frequency of fulfillment. And your subconscious mind, being the faithful servant that it is, will work tirelessly through the night to bring about the conditions necessary for the manifestation of your desires. Remember, sleep is the time when your conscious mind is at rest and your subconscious mind is most receptive. By entering sleep in the state of the wish fulfilled, you are programming your subconscious mind for success. You are aligning yourself more fully with the reality of your desires manifested. As you practice this nightly, you will find that your days begin to change. You will begin to notice synchronicities, coincidences, and opportunities that align with the fulfillment of your desires. You will find yourself naturally taking inspired actions that lead you closer to your goals. You will begin to embody more fully the person who has already achieved their desires. And all of this, my dear friends, is divine timing at work. It is the perfect orchestra of the universe bringing about the manifestation of your desires in the most perfect way and at the most perfect time. So trust in divine timing. Trust that your desires are coming. Trust that the universe is working tirelessly to bring about their manifestation. For when you trust, when you have faith, when you live from the end, you are aligning yourself with the creative power of the universe. And in that alignment, all things are possible. Remember, you are not separate from the universe. You are not separate from God. You are one with the creative power that shapes worlds. Your imagination is God in action. And as you imagine, as you feel the reality of your desires fulfilled, you are literally reshaping your world. So go forth, my dear friends, with confidence and faith. Live from the end. Persist in your assumption. Trust in divine timing, for your desires are already yours in the spiritual realm, and they are making their way to you through the medium of time and space. It's coming, my dear friends. Your every desire, your every dream, your every imagined state is all coming. Trust in divine timing. Trust in the perfect molding of the universe. Trust in the creative power of your own wonderful human imagination. For in that trust, in that faith, in that knowing lies the key to the fulfillment of all your desires. It's coming. Trust in divine timing and watch as your world transforms before your very eyes. Thank you, my dear friends. May you go forth and create the life of your dreams. For you are the operant power. You are the creator of your reality. And divine timing is always working in your favor. Let us begin by understanding what the subconscious mind truly is. Many of you may think of it as some mysterious hidden part of your psyche, separate from your waking consciousness. But I tell you now, your subconscious mind is not separate from you, it is you. It is the vast, infinite part of your consciousness that holds all memory, all knowledge, all potential. Imagine, if you will, that your conscious mind is like the tip of an iceberg visible above the water. It's what you're aware of at any given moment. Your thoughts, your immediate surroundings, your current focus. But beneath the surface lies the enormous bulk of the iceberg, your subconscious mind. It's this submerged portion that truly drives your life, shaping your beliefs, your habits, your reactions, and ultimately, your reality. Now you might be wondering, Neville, if my subconscious mind is so powerful, why can't I simply tell it what to do? And therein lies the crux of our discussion today. You see, the subconscious mind doesn't operate on logic or reason. It doesn't understand words in the way your conscious mind does. Instead, it responds to feelings, to images, to lived experiences, whether real or imagined. This is why simple affirmations or positive thinking often fall short. You cannot command your subconscious mind with mere words. You must speak to it in its own language, the language of feeling, of emotion, of vivid imagination. Let us delve deeper into this concept. Your subconscious mind is like a fertile field, ready to grow whatever seeds are planted within it. These seeds are your habitual thoughts, your deepest beliefs, your most frequent emotions. And just as a field doesn't discriminate between the seeds of weeds and the seeds of flowers, your subconscious mind doesn't differentiate between positive and negative impressions. It simply accepts and grows whatever is repeatedly planted within it. This is why many people find themselves stuck in patterns of negative thinking or self-defeating behaviors. They have unknowingly been planting these seeds in their subconscious mind through years of repetitive thoughts and feelings. But here's the liberating truth. You have the power to choose what seeds you plant. You have the ability to consciously impress upon your subconscious mind the thoughts, beliefs, and feelings that align with your desires. This, my friends, is the key to controlling your subconscious mind. So how do we begin this process of impressing our desires upon the subconscious? The first step is to clearly define what it is you wish to manifest in your life. Be specific. Don't simply say, I want to be happy. Instead, imagine in vivid detail what that happiness looks like. How do you feel? What are you doing? Who are you with? The more specific and detailed your vision, the more clearly you communicate with your subconscious mind. Once you have this clear vision, the next step is to enter what I call the state akin to sleep. This is a state of deep relaxation where your conscious mind becomes quiet, allowing easier access to your subconscious. You can achieve this state through meditation, through the moments just before falling asleep at night, or upon first waking in the morning. In this relaxed state, bring your desire to mind. But don't just think about it, feel it. Experience it as if it were happening right now. Engage all your senses. If your desire is a new home, feel the doorknob in your hand as you open the front door. Smell the fresh paint. Hear the sound of your footsteps echoing in your new space. Feel the emotion of pride and contentment as you look around your beautiful new home. This imaginal act is not mere daydreaming or wishful thinking. In the realm of your subconscious mind, it is a lived experience. Your subconscious does not distinguish between what you vividly imagine and what you physically experience. By entering into the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you are impressing upon your subconscious mind the reality of your desire. Now, some of you may be thinking, but Neville, I've tried visualizing before and nothing happened. To this, I say persistence is key. Your current reality is the result of years, perhaps decades, of impressing certain beliefs and assumptions upon your subconscious mind. You cannot expect to overturn these deeply rooted patterns with a single imaginal act. You must persist in your new assumption. You must live from the state of your wish fulfilled, not just in your quiet moments of imagination, but throughout your day. This is where many falter. They may imagine their desire vividly before sleep, but upon waking they return to their old patterns of thought and feeling. Remember, your subconscious mind is always listening, always absorbing. Every thought, every emotion, every reaction you have throughout your day is being recorded and impressed upon your subconscious. Therefore, you must maintain the feeling of your wish fulfilled even in the face of contrary evidence. This is not to say you should deny your current reality. Rather, you acknowledge it while simultaneously holding firm to your new assumption. If your desire is financial abundance, you don't deny your current bank balance. Instead, you say to yourself, yes, this is my current situation, but I am now moving towards greater abundance. I am now embodying the state of a wealthy person. This brings us to another crucial point in controlling your subconscious mind. The power of your self-concept. Your self-concept is the sum total of all your beliefs about who you are. It's the image you hold of yourself in your mind. And this self-concept is perhaps the most powerful impression in your subconscious mind. Many people struggle to manifest their desires because their self-concept contradicts what they're trying to achieve. They may visualize wealth, but deep down, they believe they're not the kind of person who can be wealthy. They may imagine a loving relationship, but fundamentally believe they're unworthy of love. To truly control your subconscious mind, you must be willing to revise your self-concept. You must be willing to see yourself anew. This is not about creating a false image of yourself, but about recognizing and embracing your true, limitless nature. You see, at your core, you are pure consciousness. You are not defined by your past experiences, your current circumstances, or the opinions of others. You are the awareness in which all these things appear. And this awareness, your true self, is infinite in its potential. When you truly grasp this truth, when you begin to identify with your essential nature, rather than your temporary circumstances, you open yourself to limitless possibilities. Your subconscious mind, no longer constrained by limiting beliefs about who you are, becomes free to manifest any reality you choose to imagine. So how do you revise your self-concept? The process is similar to impressing any desire upon your subconscious mind. You must vividly imagine yourself as the person you wish to be. Feel what it's like to be that person. How do they think? How do they carry themselves? How do they react to situations? But remember, this is not about creating a false persona. It's about recognizing and embracing aspects of yourself that have always been there, but perhaps have been overshadowed by limiting beliefs. You are not becoming someone else. You are becoming more fully yourself. As you persistently imagine and feel yourself as this ideal version of you, your subconscious mind will begin to accept this as your new reality. And as your subconscious accepts it, you will naturally begin to think, feel, and act in alignment with this new self-concept. Now let us address another powerful tool in controlling your subconscious mind, the use of I am statements. The words I am are incredibly potent. They are, in essence, your definition of yourself. Whatever follows I am is impressed upon your subconscious mind as a truth about your identity. Many people unconsciously use I am statements in negative ways. I am tired, I am broke, I am unlucky in love. Each time you make such a statement, you are programming your subconscious mind to create more of that experience. To control your subconscious mind, you must become acutely aware of your I am statements. Catch yourself when you use them negatively and consciously choose to reframe them. Instead of I am tired, say I am rejuvenating. Instead of I am broke, say I am open to financial abundance. Instead of I am unlucky in love, say I am worthy of love and attracting my perfect partner. But remember, it's not just about the words. You must feel the truth of these statements as you say them. Your subconscious mind responds to feeling, not just to words. So when you say I am abundant, feel the security, the freedom, the joy of abundance. When you say I am loved, feel the warmth, the connection, the contentment of being deeply loved. As you consistently use I am statements in this way, you are literally reprogramming your subconscious mind. You are impressing upon it a new concept of who you are. And your subconscious mind will work tirelessly to make this new self-concept your reality. Now let us explore another powerful technique for controlling your subconscious mind, the practice of revision. Revision is not merely about changing your memories or rewriting your past. It is about recognizing that the past only exists in your mind and therefore it can be changed in your mind. You see, your subconscious mind doesn't distinguish between what actually happened and what you vividly imagine happened. By revising past events in your imagination, you can literally change the impact those events have on your subconscious mind. Here's how to practice revision. At the end of each day, review the events of your day in your imagination. If there were any events that were not to your liking, revise them. See them unfolding in a way that pleases you. Feel the satisfaction, the joy, the fulfillment of this revised version of events. For example, if you had a disagreement with a coworker, revise the scene in your mind. See the conversation unfolding harmoniously. Feel the mutual understanding and respect. Hear the words of agreement and cooperation. By doing this, you are not denying what physically happened. you are changing the impact of that event on your subconscious mind. You are impressing upon your subconscious a reality of harmony and understanding rather than conflict. This practice of revision can be extended to any past event that still troubles you. Are there memories that still cause you pain or regret? Revise them in your imagination. See them unfolding in a way that brings you peace and joy. Feel the emotions of this new version of events as if they were real, because to your subconscious mind they are real. As you consistently practice revision, you will find that your reactions to current events begin to change. You will become less reactive, more peaceful, more aligned with your desired states of being. This is because you are literally rewriting the programs in your subconscious mind that govern your responses to life events. Now let us delve into another crucial aspect of controlling your subconscious mind, the power of your attention. Your attention is like a spotlight, illuminating and energizing whatever it focuses on. And your subconscious mind assumes that whatever you consistently give your attention to must be important to you. Many people unknowingly misuse this power by constantly focusing on what they don't want. They worry about potential problems, dwell on past mistakes, or obsess over their current limitations. In doing so, they are inadvertently instructing their subconscious mind to create more of these unwanted experiences. To control your subconscious mind, you must become the master of your attention. Consciously choose to focus on what you want, not on what you don't want. When you catch your mind dwelling on negative possibilities, gently but firmly redirect your attention to your desired outcome. This doesn't mean you ignore problems or challenges. Rather, you acknowledge them briefly, then immediately shift your focus to the solution to the desired outcome. Instead of worrying about an upcoming presentation, focus on seeing yourself delivering it confidently and successfully. Instead of dwelling on a health issue, focus on seeing and feeling yourself in perfect health. Remember, your subconscious mind is always listening, always absorbing. By consistently focusing your attention on your desired states of being, you are instructing your subconscious mind to align your reality with these states. Now let us discuss the role of emotion in controlling your subconscious mind. Emotion is the power that gives life to your thoughts and imaginations. It's the energy that fuels the manifestation of your desires. Your subconscious mind responds more strongly to feelings than to logical thoughts. This is why simply thinking about your goals often doesn't lead to their manifestation. You must feel your desired reality as if it were already true. When you imagine your desire fulfilled, allow yourself to feel the joy, the excitement, the gratitude you would feel if it were already your reality. These positive emotions are the fuel that propels your imaginal acts into physical manifestation. Conversely, negative emotions like fear, worry, or doubt can sabotage your efforts to impress your desires upon your subconscious mind. These emotions send a message to your subconscious that something is wrong, that you are in danger or lack, prompting it to create more experiences that match these feelings. Therefore, managing your emotional state is crucial in controlling your subconscious mind. Practice generating positive emotions intentionally. Feel gratitude for what you already have. Feel joy for the beauty around you. Feel love for yourself and others. As you cultivate these positive emotional states, you create a fertile ground in your subconscious mind for your desires to take root and flourish. Now, my friends, as we near the conclusion of our exploration, let us address one final, crucial point: the importance of persistence and faith in controlling your subconscious mind. The techniques we have discussed are powerful, but they require consistent application to yield results. Your current reality is the result of years, perhaps decades of subconscious programming. It will not change overnight. You must persist in your new assumptions, in your new self-concept, in your new patterns of thought and feeling. There may be times when your physical reality seems to contradict your imaginal acts. In these moments, you must have faith, not blind faith, but faith born of understanding, understanding that your physical reality is the effect, not the cause. The cause lies in your consciousness, in your subconscious mind. Persist in the feeling of your wish fulfilled, even when your senses deny it. Hold fast to your new self-concept, even when old habits try to reassert themselves. Maintain your focus on what you want, even when challenges arise. For it is through this persistence, this unwavering faith, that you truly impress your desires upon your subconscious mind. It is through this persistence that you reprogram the deeply held beliefs and assumptions that have shaped your reality thus far. Remember, your subconscious mind is not your enemy. It is not something to be battled or subdued. It is your faithful servant, tirelessly working to create the reality you impress upon it. By learning to communicate with it effectively, by consistently impressing upon it the reality you desire, you align this immense power with your conscious intentions. As we conclude our discussion, I want you to remember this. You are not at the mercy of your subconscious mind. You are its master. You have within you the power to shape your reality, to create the life you desire. This power lies in your ability to consciously impress upon your subconscious mind the thoughts, feelings, and assumptions that align with your desires. Go forth from here with this knowledge. Apply these principles in your daily life. Be aware of your thoughts, your emotions, your self-concept. Use your imagination consciously and deliberately. Revise your past. Focus your attention wisely and persist in the feeling of your wish fulfilled. And above all, have faith. Faith in the process, faith in the law, faith in your own divine nature as a created being. For as you master the art of controlling your subconscious mind, you step into your true power as the author of your life story. Remember, the power to change your life lies within you. It always has. You are not bound by your past, by your circumstances, or by the opinions of others. You are bound only by the limits of your imagination and your willingness to impress upon your subconscious mind the reality you choose to experience. Embrace this truth. Live from this understanding and watch as your world transforms around you, reflecting the newfound mastery of your subconscious mind. Thank you, and may your journey of conscious creation be filled with joy, wonder, and the thrill of manifesting your deepest desires. My dear wonderful friends, tonight I shall share with you the most powerful secret in all of creation: how to speak to yourself in a way that will completely transform your world in just 3 days. Not in 3 months, not in 3 years, but in 3 days. For you see, the power of your inner conversation is absolute, and it is the only true creative power in the universe. Now, when I tell you to talk to yourself, I am not speaking of the idle chatter that most engage in throughout their day. I speak of that inner conversation that is deliberate, conscious, and aligned with your desired state. For your inner conversation is your consciousness externalized, and your consciousness is God. Consider the words of Scripture. In the beginning was the Word. These words are not speaking of some external deity's utterance. They speak of your inner word, your inner conversation. For you are the operant power, and your inner conversation is the word that creates all things. Many of you come to me asking, Neville, how long must I wait to see my desires manifest? And I tell you now, give yourself 3 days of proper inner conversation, and you will see your world begin to transform. For 3 is the number of completion in Scripture. And when you maintain the proper inner conversation for 3 days, you set in motion forces beyond your current understanding. Let me share with you exactly how to conduct this inner conversation. First, you must understand that your inner conversation must be from the end. You do not speak of what you want to be true. You speak as though what you desire is already true. This is the great secret that most of the world has missed. When you wake in the morning of your first day, your inner conversation must be from the state of your wish fulfilled. If you desire wealth, your inner conversation must be that of a wealthy person. If you desire health, your inner conversation must be that of a healthy person. If you desire love, your inner conversation must be that of someone who is deeply loved. But and this is crucial, your inner conversation must feel natural. It must not be strained or forced. For feeling is the secret, and your inner conversation must be accompanied by the feeling of naturalness. Let me give you a perfect example from Scripture. When David spoke to Goliath, his inner conversation was not, I hope I can win, or I will try my best. His inner conversation was from the state of victory already achieved. This is why he could say with complete conviction, this day will the Lord deliver thee into mine hand. Now, for these 3 days, you must guard your inner conversation as though your life depends upon it, because it does. Every time you catch yourself engaging in inner conversation that contradicts your desired state, you must immediately revise it. This is not a suggestion. This is a command if you wish to see your world transform. Consider this: every outer conversation you have is first an inner conversation. Every relationship you have is first an inner conversation. Every circumstance in your life is first an inner conversation. Therefore, by changing your inner conversation for just 3 days, you literally change the entire substance from which your world is created. Let me tell you how to structure your inner conversation throughout these 3 days. In the morning, your first inner words must be from the state of your wish fulfilled. Before you open your eyes, before you move a muscle, engage in the inner conversation of the person you wish to be. If you desire wealth, your inner conversation might be, I am so grateful for my abundant life. Money flows to me easily and continuously. I am surrounded by prosperity. But remember, these words must not be mere affirmations. They must be spoken with the feeling of knowing that they are already true. Throughout your day, your inner conversation must maintain the same level of conviction. When challenges arise, and they will arise, your inner conversation must remain steadfast. If someone speaks of lack, your inner conversation must be of abundance. If someone speaks of illness, your inner conversation must be of health. This is where most fail in their attempt to change their world. They allow their inner conversation to be pulled into the current circumstances rather than maintaining the conversation of their desired state. But I tell you now, circumstances have no power over your inner conversation unless you give them that power. For these 3 days, you must be relentless in maintaining your new inner conversation. When you walk down the street, your inner conversation must be from your desired state. When you eat your meals, your inner conversation must be from your desired state. When you prepare for sleep, your inner conversation must be from your desired state. Let me share with you a principle that I have tested and proven countless times. Your inner conversation is the only reality. Everything else, absolutely everything, is a shadow of your inner conversation pushed out. Therefore, when you maintain the proper inner conversation for 3 days, you literally create a new world. Many of you may be thinking, but Neville, 3 days seems too short a time to change my entire world. Let me remind you of the story of Jonah. How long was he in the belly of the whale? 3 days. And after 3 days, he was transformed, and his world was transformed. This is not coincidence, my dear friends. This is law. 3 days of proper inner conversation is all that is required to set in motion the forces that will transform your world. But these must be 3 complete days, not 3 days of wavering between states. During these 3 days, you must guard your inner conversation, not just in your waking hours, but as you fall asleep. For the last inner conversation you have before sleep is particularly powerful. It continues to echo through your subconscious mind throughout your sleep. Therefore, as you prepare for sleep during these 3 days, your inner conversation must be perfectly aligned with your desired state. If you desire a successful business, your inner conversation might be, I am so grateful for my thriving business. My customers are delighted with our services. Profits increase continuously. But remember, and this is crucial, your inner conversation must be accompanied by the feeling of naturalness. It must feel as natural to have this conversation as it feels to speak of what you had for breakfast. This is where the power lies, not in the words themselves, but in the feeling of naturalness that accompanies them. Let me share with you another principle. Your inner conversation creates your outer conversations. Therefore, during these 3 days, you must be particularly vigilant about your outer conversations as well. They must align with your new inner conversation. If someone asks you how you are, your response must come from your desired state. If someone speaks to you about problems or difficulties, your response must come from your desired state. Your outer conversation must be a perfect reflection of your new inner conversation. Many of you may find this challenging at first. You may be tempted to engage in conversations about current circumstances rather than your desired state. But I tell you now, this is where your power lies in maintaining your new conversation regardless of appearances. Consider the story of Jesus walking on water. What was his inner conversation? Was it about the impossibility of walking on water? Was it about the danger of the storms? No, his inner conversation was from the state of mastery over all natural laws, and his outer world had to conform to this inner conversation. During these 3 days, you must maintain the same level of conviction in your inner conversation. You must speak to yourself as though your desired state is already your reality, not as though it will be, not as though it might be, but as though it is. Let me share with you how to handle doubts when they arise during these 3 days, and they will arise. When a doubt appears in your mind, do not fight it. Instead, immediately revise your inner conversation. If you catch yourself saying inwardly, "This isn't working," immediately revise it to, "Everything is working perfectly. My world is transforming now." This revision must be immediate and complete. You cannot allow doubt to linger in your inner conversation. For remember, your inner conversation is the only reality. Therefore, a doubting inner conversation will create a doubting outer reality. Throughout these 3 days, your inner conversation must be dominated by gratitude. Not gratitude for what you hope will come, but gratitude for what is already yours in your desired state. This gratitude must be part of your inner conversation throughout the day. When you wake in the morning, your inner conversation must be filled with gratitude. When you go about your daily activities, your inner conversation must be filled with gratitude. When you prepare for sleep, your inner conversation must be filled with gratitude. Let me share with you another principle. Your inner conversation creates your inner states, and your inner states create your outer world. Therefore, during these 3 days, your inner conversation must create and maintain the inner state of your wish fulfilled. If you desire wealth, your inner conversation must create and maintain the inner state of wealth consciousness. If you desire health, your inner conversation must create and maintain the inner state of health consciousness. If you desire love, your inner conversation must create and maintain the inner state of being loved. Many of you may be wondering what to do if you slip in your inner conversation during these 3 days. Let me be very clear, you must not condemn yourself. Instead, immediately revise the conversation. Remember, you are training yourself to maintain a new inner conversation, and like any training, it requires practice. During these 3 days, your inner conversation must be your primary focus. Every other activity must be secondary to maintaining your new inner conversation, for you are literally recreating your world through this conversation. Let me share with you how to structure your inner conversation for specific desires. If you desire a new home, your inner conversation might be, "I love living in my beautiful new home. Everything about it is perfect for me." If you desire a promotion, your inner conversation might be, "I am so grateful for my new position. It's everything I desired and more." But remember, these are not mere words. They must be accompanied by the feeling of living in that new home, the feeling of working in that new position. For feeling is the secret. And your inner conversation must generate the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Throughout these 3 days, your inner conversation must be specific. Vague inner conversation creates vague results. Therefore, speak to yourself with clarity about your desired state. Be specific in your inner conversation about what you are grateful for, what you are experiencing, what you are enjoying in your desired state. Let me share with you another principle. Your inner conversation creates your self-concept, and your self-concept creates your world. Therefore, during these 3 days, your inner conversation must be about who you are, not just what you have. If you desire success, your inner conversation must be about being a successful person, not just about having success. If you desire abundance, your inner conversation must be about being an abundant person, not just about having money. If you desire love, your inner conversation must be about being a loved person, not just about having a relationship. During these 3 days, your inner conversation must be continuous, not in the sense of constant chatter, but in the sense of consistent alignment with your desired state. Every time you become aware of your inner conversation, it must be from your desired state. Let me share with you how to maintain this continuity. Set reminders for yourself throughout the day. Every time you look at your watch, every time you eat a meal, every time you enter a room, let these be triggers to check your inner conversation. But remember, your inner conversation must not be mechanical. It must be alive with feeling, rich with the emotion of your desired state, for it is the feeling that gives power to your inner conversation. Throughout these 3 days, your inner conversation must be sovereign. You must not allow anyone or anything to dictate your inner conversation. Not circumstances, not other people's opinions, not past experiences. Nothing must have power over your inner conversation except you. Let me share with you another principle. Your inner conversation creates your expectations, and your expectations create your experience. Therefore, during these 3 days, your inner conversation must create the highest expectations of good for yourself. Many of you may be thinking, but Neville, what if my desired state seems impossible? Let me remind you, nothing is impossible to your inner conversation. Your inner conversation is God in action, and to God all things are possible. During these 3 days, your inner conversation must be about possibility, not probability. You must speak to yourself from the state of your wish fulfilled, regardless of how probable or improbable may seem to your rational mind. Let me share with you how to handle apparent failures during these 3 days. If something happens that seems to contradict your desired state, your inner conversation must remain unchanged. You must speak to yourself as though the seeming failure is actually part of the perfect unfolding of your desire. Remember, your inner conversation is creating your reality, not the other way around. Therefore, no external circumstance has the power to change your inner conversation unless you give it that power. Throughout these 3 days, your inner conversation must be your constant companion. It must be the lens through which you view every experience, the filter through which you interpret every event, the standard by which you measure every circumstance. Let me share with you another principle. Your inner conversation creates your belief system, and your belief system creates your reality. Therefore, during these 3 days, your inner conversation must consistently reinforce the beliefs that support your desired state. During these 3 days, your inner conversation must be a perfect reflection of the person you wish to be. You must speak to yourself as that person would speak, think as that person would think, feel as that person would feel. Let me share with you how to maintain this level of consciousness. When you catch yourself speaking from your old state, immediately ask yourself, how would I be speaking to myself if I were already the person I wish to be? Then revise your inner conversation accordingly. Throughout these 3 days, your inner conversation must be about what is, not what was or what might be. You must speak to yourself in the present tense, from the state of your wish fulfilled. This is crucial for the manifestation of your desire. Let me share with you another principle. Your inner conversation creates your future, but it does so by creating your present. Therefore, during these 3 days, your inner conversation must make your desired future your present reality. Many of you may be wondering what will happen after these 3 days. Let me tell you, if you have maintained the proper inner conversation for 3 days, you will have set in motion forces that must result in the manifestation of your desire. During these 3 days, your inner conversation must be your primary tool for creation. Every other method, every other technique, every other approach must be secondary to maintaining your new inner conversation. Let me share with you how to know if your inner conversation is correct. If it feels natural, if it feels real, if it feels true, even in the face of contrary evidence, then your inner conversation is correct. Throughout these 3 days, your inner conversation must be protected like a precious jewel. You must guard it against doubt, against fear, against negativity. For your inner conversation is the very substance from which your world is created. Let me share with you another principle. Your inner conversation creates your relationship with yourself, and your relationship with yourself creates all other relationships. Therefore, during these 3 days, your inner conversation must reflect the highest, most loving relationship with yourself. During these 3 days, your inner conversation must be your sacred practice. You must treat it with the same reverence that a priest treats his prayers, that a scientist treats his experiments, that an artist treats his creations. Let me share with you how to maintain this level of devotion. See your inner conversation as your direct connection to the creative power of the universe. For that is exactly what it is. Your consciousness in action, creating your world. Throughout these 3 days, your inner conversation must be your constant reminder of who you really are, the operant power in your world, the creator of reality, the God of your universe. And that, my dear friends, is how you must talk to yourself for 3 days if you wish to transform your world. Not sometimes, not occasionally, but consistently, continuously, constantly. For your inner conversation is the word of God in action, and it cannot return void. Remember this, your world is your inner conversation pushed out. Therefore, guard your inner conversation for these 3 days, as though your life depends upon it, because it does. So what will you do with this knowledge? Will you continue with your old inner conversation, creating the same results you've always created? Or will you begin today, this moment, to maintain a new inner conversation that must create a new world? The choice is yours, but the law is absolute. Your inner conversation creates your reality. Therefore, speak to yourself for 3 days as though your desires are already fulfilled, and watch your world transform. That's the message I want to leave you tonight. Not because it's easy, but because it's true. Not because it's simple, but because it's powerful. Not because it's what you expected to hear, but because it's what you needed to hear. Remember, 3 days of proper inner conversation will transform your world. Every single time. And isn't that worth thinking about?
Ladies and gentlemen, to truly understand why you cannot give up, we must first grasp the fundamental nature of our being. You see, my dear friends, you are not merely a physical body moving through a material world. You are, in essence, pure consciousness, an extension of the divine mind that creates and sustains all of existence. This consciousness, this awareness that you call I, is the very substance of God expressing itself as you. Can God give up? Can the infinite, eternal, all-powerful creator of the universe ever surrender or abandon its creations? The very notion is absurd. And if you are, in truth, one with this divine power, how then can you give up? You see, giving up is nothing more than a state of consciousness, a belief in limitation and defeat. But these limitations exist only in your imagination. They're not real in any absolute sense. They are simply ideas you have accepted as true, shadows cast by the light of your own divine nature. Consider the experience you have. Every circumstance in your life is a reflection of your state of consciousness. The world you see around you is nothing more than your own self pushed out. It is a mirror showing you the contents of your own mind. When you feel tempted to give up, what you're really seeing is a projection of your own doubts and fears. But here's the liberating truth. Just as you have the power to imagine defeat, you have the equal power to imagine victory. You have the God-given ability to choose your state of consciousness. And in choosing, you create your reality. Let me share with you a principle that has transformed countless lives. Imagination creates reality. Your imagination is not some idle fancy or frivolous daydream. It is the very workshop of creation. When you imagine you engaging the same creative power that spoke the universe into existence. So when you say, I cannot give up, you are not merely making a statement of determination. You are, in fact, planting a seed in the fertile soil of infinite possibility. You are decreeing the truth about yourself and your world, and the universe has no choice but to conform to this truth. Now, some of you might be thinking, but Neville, I've tried to persist, and yet I still face failure and disappointment. To this, I say, failure is impossible. What you perceive as failure is simply the bridge of incidents leading to your desired end. It is the universe rearranging itself to accommodate your new state of consciousness. Remember, the outer world always lags behind the inner world. Just because you don't see immediate results doesn't mean your imaginal act hasn't taken root. The seed must be given time to grow. Your job is not to make things happen, but to maintain the state of consciousness of already having what you desire. Let's practice this now. I want you to close your eyes and imagine a scene that implies you have already achieved your goal. Make it as vivid and real as possible. Engage all your senses. Feel the emotions you would feel if your desire were already fulfilled. Here's the crucial part. You must feel the naturalness of this state. It must feel normal, not extraordinary. This is the secret of successful imagining. As you open your eyes, carry this feeling with you. Let it permeate your entire being. This is what it means to live from the end. You're not working towards your goal. You are living from the state of its fulfillment. From this perspective, giving up becomes not just undesirable, but utterly impossible. But how can you give up on something that, in your imagination, has already come to pass? Now let us delve deeper into the nature of consciousness and its relation to the concept of not giving up. You see, consciousness is the only reality. All that you perceive as the outer world is really taking place within you. The universe exists within your consciousness, not the other way around. This understanding is crucial because it means that the power to persist, to never give up, lies entirely within you. It's not dependent on external circumstances or the actions of others. It's a choice you make in the realm of your own consciousness. When you truly grasp this truth, you'll realize that giving up is nothing more than accepting a state of consciousness that doesn't serve you. And if consciousness is the only reality, and you have the power to choose your state of consciousness, then giving up becomes a logical impossibility. Let's explore this further. Imagine for a moment that you're facing a challenge that seems insurmountable. The temptation to give up feels strong. But remember, this challenge exists only in your consciousness. It's a shadow cast by your current state of mind. Now, instead of focusing on the challenge, turn your attention to the state of consciousness where this challenge is already overcome. Feel the relief, the joy, the sense of accomplishment that comes with having moved past this obstacle. Let this feeling sink deep into your being. This is not mere positive thinking or wishful daydreaming. This is you, consciously choosing to occupy a state of mind where giving up is not even a consideration. If you maintain this state, you'll find that the outer world has no choice but to restructure itself to match your inner reality. This is the law of assumption in action. You assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and the world reshapes itself accordingly. Now, some of you might be wondering, but what about the times when I've given up in the past? To this I say, the past exists only in your memory. It has no power over you unless you give it power. Your true power lies in the present moment, in your ability to choose your state of consciousness. In fact, even the concept of giving up is a misunderstanding of the nature of time. There's only the eternal now. In this now, you are always free to choose again, to reimagine, to reassume the state of your fulfilled desire. From this perspective, what you might have called giving up in the past was simply a temporary shift in consciousness, one that you have the power to reverse at any moment. Let's practice this principle. Think of something in your life that you've been tempted to give up on. It could be a personal goal, a relationship, a project, anything at all. Now, instead of dwelling on the reasons why you can't achieve it, I want you to do something radical. I want you to assume the state of consciousness where you've already achieved it. Close your eyes and step into that reality. See through the eyes of the version of you who has already succeeded. Feel what that version of you feels. Move how that version of you moves. Speak how that version of you speaks. Make it so real that if you were to open your eyes right now, you'd be surprised to find yourself here and not in that achieved state. This, my dear friends, is the art of living from the end. When you master this, the very idea of giving up becomes absurd. For how can you give up on something that in your consciousness has already come to pass? Now let's address a common misconception. Some people believe that this practice of assuming the state of the wish fulfilled is a form of denial or escapism. Nothing could be further from the truth. This is not about ignoring reality. Reality is not what your physical senses report. Reality is not the sum total of your past experiences. Reality is not the opinions of others or the apparent limitations of your current circumstances. Reality is consciousness. And consciousness can be changed. When you assume the state of your wish fulfilled, you're not denying current conditions. You're exercising your God-given power to choose the state of consciousness you wish to occupy. And since the outer world is nothing more than your consciousness pushed out, this choice inevitably leads to a change in your experienced reality. This understanding frees you from the tyranny of circumstances. It liberates you from the belief that you're at the mercy of external forces. It reveals the truth that you are the operant power in your life. And an operant power simply cannot give up. Consider it. Every invention, every scientific breakthrough, every work of art that has ever graced this world came into being because someone refused to give up on their vision. They held to their imagined reality despite all apparent contradictions. They lived in the consciousness of their fulfilled desire until the outer world conformed to their inner conviction. You have this same power. The power that created the universe is not outside of you. It is you. It is your very consciousness. And this power knows no failure, no defeat, no giving up. Now, I want to address something that often comes up when we discuss these principles. Some of you might be thinking, but Neville, what about the effort? Don't we need to take action in the physical world? Yes, there will be action, but it will not be the strained, anxious action of someone trying to make something happen. Instead, it will be the inspired, effortless action that naturally flows from your new state of consciousness. You see, when you truly assume the state of your wish fulfilled, you'll find yourself naturally doing the things that someone in that state would do. You won't have to force yourself. You won't have to overcome reluctance or fight against the temptation to give up. Your actions will be a natural outpicturing of your inner state. This is why it's so crucial to focus on the state of consciousness rather than on specific actions. The right actions will flow naturally from the right state of consciousness. Your job is simply to occupy the state. Let's explore this further with an example. Imagine you're an aspiring author who's been struggling to finish your first novel. You've been tempted many times to give up, to conclude that you're just not cut out for writing. Now, instead of focusing on the act of writing itself, I want you to assume the state of consciousness of being a successful author. Feel what it's like to hold your published book in your hands. Imagine seeing your name on the bestseller list. Feel the satisfaction of receiving glowing reviews from readers whose lives have been touched by your words. Live from this state. As you maintain this state, you'll find that the act of writing becomes joyful and effortless. You're no longer trying to become an author. In your consciousness, you already are one. The words flow easily because in your imaginal reality, you're simply doing what comes naturally to you as a successful author. This principle applies to every area of life. Whatever your goal, whatever you've been tempted to give up on, shift your focus from the struggle to achieve to the state of having already achieved. Live from that state and watch as your outer world reorganizes itself to match your inner conviction. Now let's address another aspect of not giving up. The apparent passage of time. In the world of Caesar, time seems to move in a linear fashion. We speak of past, present, and future as if they were fixed realities. But in the realm of consciousness, time is fluid. Your imaginal acts do not take place in time. They take place in the timeless realm of consciousness. When you assume the state of your wish fulfilled, you're not projecting into the future. You're choosing to occupy that state now, in the only moment that truly exists, the present. This understanding frees you from the tyranny of time. It liberates you from the anxiety of when your desire will manifest. In your imagination, it has already manifested. Your job is simply to persist in this assumption. Remember, the outer world is a shadow, a reflection of your inner state. It may take time for this shadow to fully reflect your new state of consciousness. But this delay is not a reason to give up or to doubt. It's simply part of the bridge of incidents that leads to the full manifestation of your desire. In fact, this delay serves a purpose. It allows you to strengthen your faith, to deepen your understanding of these principles. Each day that you persist in your assumption, despite apparent contradictions, is a day that you're building spiritual muscle. You're proving to yourself the power of your own consciousness. So, when you're tempted to give up because things aren't happening as quickly as you'd like, remember consciousness, where all creation takes place. Your desire is already fulfilled. Time is simply allowing you to align more fully with this truth. Now, let's delve into another crucial aspect of why you cannot give up. The nature of your true self. You see, the you that feels tempted to give up is not your true self. It's a construct, a collection of beliefs and memories that you've identified with. But it's not the real you. Your true self is the I am, the pure awareness that underlies all your experiences. This I am is one with God, the creative power of the universe. And this power knows no limitations, no defeat, no giving up. When you say I am, you're invoking this infinite power. Whatever follows I am is what you're claiming as your reality. So when you say I am a failure or I am ready to give up, you're misusing this creative power. You're decreeing a limited state for yourself. Instead, align your I am statements with your desires. Say, I am successful, I am persistent, I am achieving my goals. Feel the truth of these statements. Let them sink deep into your consciousness. This is not affirmation. It's a recognition of your true nature. As you practice this, you'll find that the very idea of giving up becomes foreign to you. For how can infinite, limitless awareness ever give up? How can the creative power of the universe ever admit defeat? This understanding reveals the true meaning of faith. Faith is not believing in something despite evidence to the contrary. True faith is the evidence of things not seen. It's the absolute conviction in the reality of your imaginal acts. It's knowing that what you've imagined must come to pass. Because imagination creates reality. When you have this kind of faith, giving up becomes impossible. You know that any appearance of failure or setback is just that, an appearance. It's a shadow cast by an old state of consciousness, one that you've now moved beyond. Let's practice strengthening this faith. I want you to think of something you've been close to giving up on. Now, instead of focusing on the reasons why it hasn't worked out, I want you to vividly imagine it is already accomplished. See it, feel it, know it is real. Here's the crucial part. Carry this feeling with you throughout your day. Let it inform your thoughts, your words, your actions. Live as though your desire is already fulfilled. This is what it means to walk by faith, not by sight. As you do this, you'll find that your outer world begins to shift. People and circumstances will align to support your new state of consciousness. What once seemed impossible will start to feel inevitable. This is the power of persistent faith. The reason why you cannot give up. Now let's address something that often trips people up on this journey. The opinions and judgments of others. when you're living from the state of your wish fulfilled, when you're refusing to give up despite apparent setbacks, you may encounter skepticism or even ridicule from those around you. Remember this. Their opinions are nothing more than their own states of consciousness pushed out. They have no power over you unless you give them power. Their doubt is not a reflection of your reality. It's a reflection of their limited understanding. In fact, the doubts of others can serve as a powerful reminder to persist in your assumption. Each time you encounter disbelief, let it strengthen your resolve. Let it remind you to go deeper into the feeling of your wish fulfilled. This is what it means to be transformed by the renewing of your mind. You're no longer at the mercy of external opinions or circumstances. You're living from the inside out, creating a reality from the realm of pure consciousness. As you continue this practice, you'll find that the very concept of giving up fades from your awareness. It becomes as foreign to you as the idea of the sun deciding not to rise. You cannot give up because in your true state of being, there's nothing to give. There's only the continuous unfoldment of your divine nature. The endless expression, this understanding, brings us to a profound truth. The journey itself is the destination. The process of assuming and maintaining the state of your wish fulfilled is itself the fulfillment. For in this process, you're awakening to your true nature. You're remembering who you really are. You see, my dear friends, you are not merely seeking to achieve a goal or to acquire something. You are, in truth, seeking to remember your divine nature. Every desire you have, every goal you pursue, is really a call to awaken to your true self. When you persist in the face of apparent failure, when you refuse to give up despite all evidence to the contrary, you're doing more than just working towards a goal. You're affirming your oneness with the creative power of the universe. You're declaring your true identity as a divine being, capable of shaping reality through the power of your consciousness. This is why you cannot give up. To give up would be to deny your true nature. It would be to forget who you really are. And while you may temporarily forget, you can never truly lose this knowledge. It's the very essence of your being. So as we near the end of our time together, I want to leave you with this thought. You cannot give up because giving up is not in your nature. You are, in essence, the limitless I am. You are the creative power that shapes worlds. You are the awareness in which all experience takes place. From this perspective, every challenge, every setback, every moment of doubt is really an invitation. An invitation to go deeper into your true self. An invitation to express more fully the divine power that you are. So, my dear friends, do not give up. Not on your dreams, not on your goals, and certainly not on yourself. For in persisting, in refusing to surrender to appearances, you are fulfilling the grandest purpose of all. You are remembering your true identity. You are awakening to the divine being that you are. Ladies and gentlemen, the topic of our discourse is both simple and revolutionary. It's time to focus. Conquer your mind. But I assure you, what we are about to explore goes far beyond mere concentration or mental discipline. We are delving into the very essence of reality itself. You see, my dear friends, your mind is not just a tool for processing information or solving problems. It is the very foundation of your reality. It is the canvas upon which the entire drama of your life unfolds. And it is time. Yes, it is high time that you recognize this power and learn to wield it with intention and purpose. Now, when I speak of focus, I'm not referring to the strained attention that you might apply to a difficult task. No, the focus I speak of is a state of being, a deliberate directing of your consciousness towards that which you desire to make manifest in your world. It is the art of seeing your desires and accomplishments, of living in the end result, of experiencing now what you wish to experience and what you perceive as the future. This focus, this conquering of the mind, is the key to unlocking the infinite potential that lies dormant within you. For you see, my friends, your outer world is nothing more than a reflection of your inner world. The circumstances of your life, the events that unfold around you, the very fabric of your reality, all of these are projections of your own consciousness. Let us pause for a moment and truly contemplate this revolutionary idea. Can you grasp the magnitude of what I am saying? Your mind, your consciousness, is not merely observing reality. Every thought, every belief, every assumption you hold is shaping the world you experience. This is why it is crucial, absolutely vital, that you learn to focus your mind, to direct your consciousness with purpose and intention. Now, some of you may be thinking, but Neville, if my mind is creating my reality, why is my life not exactly as I wish it to be? My friends, this is where the true work begins. You see, most people go through life in a state of unconscious creation. Their minds are filled with doubts, fears, and limiting beliefs. And these mental states manifest as the very limitations they fear. But I am here to tell you that it doesn't have to be this way. You have the power to consciously create your reality, to shape your world according to your deepest desires. And the key to this power lies in your ability to focus, to conquer your mind. So how do we begin this grand endeavor? How do we take control of our minds and, by extension, our reality? The first step, my dear friends, is to become aware of your thoughts, your mental habits, your deeply held beliefs. For you cannot change what you do not acknowledge. Begin by observing your inner dialogue. What stories do you tell yourself about who you are, what you're capable of, what's possible for you? Are these stories empowering or limiting? Do they align with the reality you wish to create? Or do they reinforce the very circumstances you wish to change? This awareness is the foundation of all change. For once you become conscious of your thoughts, you gain the power to choose new thoughts. And remember, my friends, thoughts are things. They're the building blocks of your reality. Choose them wisely. Now, once you have cultivated this awareness, the next step is to deliberately choose thoughts and mental images that align with your desires. This is where the true art of focus comes into play. You must learn to hold in your mind's eye a clear, vivid image of your desire fulfilled. You must learn to experience in your imagination the joy, the satisfaction, the sense of accomplishment that would be yours if your desire were already realized. This, my friends, is the secret of effective prayer. For prayer is not a pleading with some external power. It is not a beseeching of a distant deity. No true prayer is the feeling of the wish fulfilled. It is the deliberate assumption of the state of consciousness you would occupy if your desire were already a fact in your world. Let me give you an example to illustrate this principle. Suppose you desire financial abundance. The common approach would be to focus on the lack of money, to worry about bills, to stress about how to make ends meet. But this focus only serves to perpetuate the very state of lack you wish to escape. Instead, I urge you to assume the feeling of wealth. In your imagination, feel the satisfaction of abundant bank accounts. Experience the joy of effortless bill payments. Live in your mind's eye the life of someone for whom financial abundance is a natural state of being. Do this with conviction, with the assurance that what you are imagining is not a mere fantasy, but a reality that is even now coming into being. You see, my friends, your imagination is not a place to escape reality. It is the very workshop in which reality is forged. What you habitually imagine, you will inevitably experience. This is why it is crucial to guard the gates of your mind, to be selective about the thoughts and images you entertain. Now I can hear some of you thinking, but Neville, this sounds like mere positive thinking. How can simply imagining something make it real? But you see, it is not mere positive thinking. It is an assumption of the reality of that which you desire. It is a complete identification with a state of consciousness that would be yours if your desire were already fulfilled. This is why I say it is time to focus, to conquer your mind. For in conquering your mind, you conquer your world. You must become the master of your inner kingdom. For it is from this kingdom that all outer circumstances arise. Let me share with you a powerful technique to aid you in this conquest. I call it the living in the end technique. Here's how it works. Before you go to sleep at night, construct a scene in your imagination that implies the fulfillment of your desire. Make this scene as vivid and as real as possible. Engage all your senses. See the details, hear the sounds, feel the textures, Smell the sense that would be present if your desire were realized. Now enter into this scene. Don't just observe it as a spectator, but step into it as a participant. Feel the emotions you would feel if this were your current reality. Allow yourself to experience the joy, the satisfaction, the sense of accomplishment that would be yours. As you drift off to sleep, hold this scene in your mind. Let it be the last thing you think of before you enter the sleep state. You see, my friends, in the state of sleep, your conscious mind relaxes its hold, and your subconscious mind becomes more receptive. By impressing this scene upon your subconscious just before sleep, you are planting a seed that will grow into your future reality. Repeat this process night after night, and you will begin to see changes in your outer world. For remember, your outer world must conform to your inner assumptions. As within, so without. This is the law of your being, and it is infallible. Now, I want to address a concern that often arises when I share these teachings. Some of you may be thinking, but Neville, what about action? Surely we can't just imagine things and expect them to happen without any effort on our part. Let me be clear. Action is indeed a part of the manifestation process, but it is inspired action, action that flows naturally from your new state of consciousness. When you truly assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, when you live in the end in your imagination, you will find yourself naturally and effortlessly taking the actions that lead to the realization of your desire. You see, once you have changed your concept of self, once you have assumed the consciousness of your wish fulfilled, your actions will automatically align with this new self-concept. You will find yourself doing things, saying things, making decisions that are in harmony with the reality you have imagined. And these inspired actions will be far more effective than any forced or strained efforts could ever be. This is why I say that the most important work is done in your imagination. For when you change your inner world, your outer world must change to match it. This is the law of your being, and it is absolute. Now let us delve deeper into the nature of focus in mind conquest. You see, my dear friends, your mind is like a garden. The thoughts you habitually think are the seeds you plant in this garden. And like any garden, what grows depends entirely on what you plant and how you tend to it. If you allow your mind to be filled with thoughts of lack, limitation, and fear, these are the seeds you are planting. And inevitably, these seeds will grow into the very circumstances you dread. But if you consciously choose to plant seeds of abundance, of success, of joy, and fulfillment, then these are the fruits your garden will bear. This is why conquering your mind is so crucial. It is not about forcing yourself to think positive thoughts. It is about becoming the conscious gardener of your own mind. It is about choosing with deliberate intention the thoughts and mental images you will entertain. It is about focusing your attention on that which you wish to make manifest in your life. Now, some of you may be wondering, but Neville, how can I maintain this focus? How can I keep my mind fixed on my desire when the current reality seems so different? This, my friends, is where the true test of your faith comes in. For you must have faith not in some external power, but in the power of your own imagination. You must understand that what you see in your outer world is nothing more than a shadow, the reflection of past thoughts and beliefs. It has no power to create your future unless you give it that power through your attention and belief. Your true power lies in your ability to imagine and feel a new reality into being. So when your current circumstances seem to contradict your desired state, do not be dismayed. Instead, turn within. Close your physical eyes to the seeming reality of the outer world and open your inner eye to the reality you wish to experience. Feel it, live it, know it to be true in the depths of your being. For I tell you truly, what you can imagine and feel is real. You can manifest in your outer world. This, my dear friends, is the essence of focus. It is not about straining or struggling. It is about choosing where to place your attention, where to direct the power of your consciousness. And as you practice this outer focused imagination, you will find that it becomes easier and more natural. You will discover that you have the power to shift your state of consciousness at will, to assume any state you desire. Now let us speak of persistence, for it is a crucial element in this work of focusing and conquering the mind. You see, my friends, The beliefs and thought patterns that have shaped your current reality are deeply ingrained. They have been reinforced over years, perhaps even lifetimes. They will not be changed overnight, but do not let this discourage you. For every time you choose to focus on your desire, every time you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you are weakening the old patterns and strengthening the new. You are literally reshaping the landscape of your mind, and by extension, the fabric of your reality. Think of it like carving a new path through a dense forest. The first time you walk this path, it may be difficult. You may encounter resistance, obstacles, but with each passing, the path becomes clearer, easier to traverse, and eventually becomes the natural way, the path of least resistance. So too with your mind. At first, holding the focus on your desire may feel challenging. The old thoughts, the old beliefs may try to reassert themselves. But with persistence, with faithful attention to the reality you wish to create, the new path becomes established. The new state of consciousness becomes your natural state of being. This is why I urge you to persist in your imaginal acts. Do not be discouraged if you do not see immediate results in your outer world. Remember, you are working at the causal level of reality. The outer world must reshape itself to match your inner assumptions. And this may take time in your physical experience. But I assure you, the law is infallible. What you persist in imagining and feeling as real must and will become your reality. This is not wishful thinking, my friends. This is the very law by which the universe operates. Now let's address another aspect of conquering the mind. The management of your emotional states. You see, my dear friends, your emotions are incredibly powerful. They are the fuel that gives life and power to your thoughts and imaginal. When you combine a clear mental image with a corresponding emotion, you create a potent force for manifestation. This is why it's not enough to simply visualize your desire. You must feel it. You must experience the emotion that would be yours if your desire were already fulfilled. If you desire wealth, feel the security, the freedom, the joy that wealth would bring. If you desire a loving relationship, feel the love, the companionship, the deep connection in every fiber of your being. If you desire perfect health, feel the vitality, the strength, the well-being coursing through your body. These emotions, combined with your mental images, create what I call feeling tones. And it is these feeling tones that shape your reality. For the universe responds not to your words or even your conscious thoughts, but to the sum total of your mental and emotional states. This is why conquering your mind also means mastering your emotions. It means cultivating the ability to generate and sustain the emotional states that correspond to your desires. And this, my friends, is a skill that can be developed with practice. One powerful technique for this is what I call living from the end. This involves not just imagining your desire as fulfilled, but actually living your day as if it were already a reality. Make decisions, interact with others. Carry yourself in a manner consistent with the person who already has what you desire. If you're seeking a promotion at work, carry yourself with the confidence and authority of someone in that higher position. If you're manifesting improved health, move and act with the vitality and energy of a perfectly healthy person. If you're calling in your ideal partner, interact with others with the joy and openness of someone who's deeply in love. By doing this, you are not just imagining a new reality, you are embodying it. You are bringing it into being through your very way of being in the world. And as you do this, you will find that your outer world begins to shift and change to match this new state of consciousness. Now, I want to address a question that often arises when I share these teachings. Many ask, but Neville, what about other people? Can we use these techniques to change others or to make specific individuals act in certain ways? My friends, let me be clear on this point. The purpose of this work is not to control or manipulate others. It is to transform yourself, to realize the divine power within you. When you change yourself, when you assume a new state of consciousness, you will find that others naturally respond to you differently. You see, everyone in your world is yourself pushed out. They are reflections of your own consciousness. So when you change your concept of yourself, when you assume a new state of being, the people in your world must change in their behavior towards you, not because you are controlling them, but because they are responding to the new you. This is why I say that there is no one to change but self. There is no one to command but self. For when you conquer your own mind, when you assume the consciousness as your wish fulfilled, the entire world reshapes itself to match your new self-concept. This understanding liberates you from the need to try to change others. It frees you from the frustration of attempting to manipulate external circumstances. Instead, it empowers you to focus on the one thing you have complete control of, your own state of consciousness. Now let us delve deeper into the mechanics of this process. How exactly does a change in your consciousness create change in your outer world? To understand this, we must explore the nature of time in the structure of reality itself. You see, my dear friends, time as you typically perceive it, as a linear progression from past to present to future, is an illusion. In truth, all time exists simultaneously. The past, present, and future are all occurring now in this eternal moment of creation. What you perceive as the future is simply a state of consciousness that you have not yet assumed. And what you think of as the past is a state you have moved out of. But all states exist now, and you have the power to select and occupy any state you choose. This is why I often say that creation is finished. All possible states of being already exist. Your job is not to create these states, but to select and occupy them through the power of your imagination and feeling. When you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, when you occupy the state of consciousness of your desire realized, you are not creating something new. You are selecting and making real in your experience a state that already exists in the infinite sea of consciousness. This is why your imaginal acts are so powerful. When you imagine and feel your desire as real, you are literally stepping into that reality. You are aligning your consciousness with a version of reality where your desire is already fulfilled. And here's the truly miraculous part. Once you align your consciousness with this desired state, once you truly occupy it in your imagination and feeling, the outer world must reshape itself to match this inner reality. This is not magic or wishful thinking. It is the law of your being, as real and as reliable as the law of gravity. Now, I can hear some of you thinking, but Neville, this sounds too good to be true. Surely it can't be this simple. And to this I say, yes, it is this simple. But simple does not mean easy. It requires a complete revolution in your thinking, a total transformation of your concept of reality and your place in it. You must be willing to let go of your old beliefs about the nature of reality. You must be willing to release your attachment to current circumstances. You must be brave enough to imagine and feel a new reality into being, even when your senses tell you otherwise. This is why I say it's time to focus, to conquer your mind. For in this conquest lies your freedom, your power, your ability to shape your world according to your desire. As we draw our discussion to a close, I want to leave you with a final thought. The work we've explored today, this art of focused imagination, this conquest of the mind, is not just about manifesting your desires. It's about awakening to your true nature. It is about realizing the divine power that resides within you. You see, my dear friends, you are not separate from the creative power of the universe. You are that power individualized. Your imagination is not just a faculty of your mind. It is the very creative power of God operating in and through you. When you imagine, you are performing the divine act of creation. So as you go forth from here, I urge you to claim this power. Use it wisely and lovingly. Remember that your mind is the garden in which the seeds of your future are planted. Tend it carefully. Focus your attention on that which you wish to make manifest. Conquer the doubts, the fears, the limiting beliefs that held you back. Assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled and watch as your world transforms to match your inner state. And above all, persist. For in your persistence lies your power. The world may not change overnight, but I promise you this, as you maintain your focus, as you faithfully occupy the state of your wish fulfilled, your outer world must and will conform to your inner assumptions. This is the law, and it cannot fail. Go now and create consciously. For the time has come to focus, to conquer your mind, and in so doing, to conquer your world.
Tonight I shall share with you the most profound secret of creation, how to speak blessings upon yourself and instantly transform your entire world. So you see, when you truly understand how to bless yourself, you are engaging in the highest form of creation. So you are doing what God does continuously. Consider the first chapter of Genesis, where God speaks blessings upon his creation. Notice how he didn't ask anyone else to bless his work. He blessed it himself. This is the pattern you must follow, for you are that same creative power individualized as you. Let me share with you why blessing yourself is the most powerful act you can perform. First, you must understand that when you speak a blessing upon yourself, you are not engaging in mere positive thinking or affirmations. You are exercising your divine creative power, for you are God individualized as you. Many of you come to me seeking blessings from others, from teachers, from gurus, from religious leaders. But I tell you now, no one can bless you more powerfully than you can bless yourself. For you are the operant power in your world, and your word is the creative power of God in action. When you speak a blessing upon yourself, you are doing what God did in the beginning. Remember the words, and God blessed them. He didn't wait for someone else to bless his creation. He blessed it himself. And you, being made in his image and likeness, must do the same. Let me share with you the proper way to speak blessings upon yourself. First, you must understand that when you say, I bless myself, you are not speaking as a mortal being. You are speaking as God individualized. For your I am is God. And when you speak blessings from your I am, you are speaking with all the power of creation. Consider this: every time you speak a blessing upon yourself, you are literally recreating your world. For your word is God's word, and God's word cannot return void. It must accomplish that which it is sent to do. But and this is crucial, your blessings must be spoken with understanding and feeling. You cannot merely repeat words mechanically and expect results. You must feel the truth of the blessing as you speak it. For feeling is the secret. And without feeling, words are empty. Let me give you a perfect example from Scripture. When Isaac blessed Jacob, he felt the blessing as he spoke it. He wasn't just saying words, he was feeling the reality of what he was declaring. And this is exactly how you must speak blessings upon yourself. Many of you might be thinking, but Neville, isn't it selfish to bless myself? Let me tell you something. It is the most unselfish thing you can do. For when you bless yourself, truly understanding that you are God individualized, you are blessing all of creation. For there is no other. What you see as others is yourself pushed out. Let me share with you how to properly structure your self-blessings. Begin with your I am. For this is the name of God. Then speak your blessing with absolute conviction. For example, I am blessed with perfect health. I am blessed with unlimited abundance. I am blessed with divine wisdom. But remember, these are not mere affirmations. They are acknowledgments of what is already true in consciousness. For when you speak a blessing upon yourself, you are not trying to make something true. You are acknowledging what is already true in the spiritual realm. Consider this principle I have tested and proven countless times. When you bless yourself, you are performing the highest act of creation. For in blessing yourself, you are acknowledging your divine nature, and what you acknowledge must manifest in your experience. Let me share with you the three aspects of effective self-blessing. First, there is recognition. When you bless yourself, you must recognize that you speak as God individualized. Not as a mortal being hoping for good, but as the divine creator declaring what is. Second, there is feeling. Your blessings must be accompanied by the feeling of their fulfillment. When you say, I am blessed with perfect health, you must feel the vitality, the strength, the well-being that this blessing implies. For feeling is the secret of creation. Third, there is acceptance. You must accept that your blessing is already fulfilled in consciousness. Not that it will be, not that it might be, but that it is. For consciousness is the only reality, And what you accept in consciousness must externalize itself in your world. Many of you make the mistake of blessing yourself while looking at your current circumstances. But I tell you now, circumstances have no power over your blessings unless you give them that power. Your blessings create circumstances, not the other way around. Let me share with you a profound truth about self-blessing that most of the world has missed. When you bless yourself, you are not asking for something to be given to you. You are acknowledging what is already yours by divine right. For all blessings already exist in consciousness, waiting to be acknowledged and claimed. Consider the words of Scripture before they call. I will answer. This means that every blessing you could ever speak upon yourself already exists in consciousness. Your speaking of the blessing is not creating it. It is acknowledging and claiming what already is. Let me share with you how to maintain the consciousness of your self-blessings throughout your day. Most people speak a blessing and then return to their old patterns of thought. But I tell you now, your blessing must become your constant inner conversation. I think about this carefully. Every time you speak a blessing upon yourself, you are literally rearranging the entire spiritual substance of your universe. For your consciousness is God, and what God blesses must manifest. Let me give you some specific blessings that I have found particularly powerful. First, I am blessed with perfect understanding of my own divine nature. This blessing opens the door to all other blessings, for when you truly understand your divine nature, all things become possible. Second, I am blessed with the constant awareness of my creative power. This blessing keeps you mindful of your true identity as God individualized. For you see, most people forget their divine nature and slip back into mortal thinking. Third, I am blessed with the ability to see past appearances to the truth of being. This blessing helps you maintain your focus on the reality of consciousness rather than the shadows of circumstances. Consider how these blessings work together. Each one strengthens the others, creating a powerful foundation for all your other blessings. For when you truly understand your divine nature, are aware of your creative power, and can see past appearances, you become a master of conscious creation. Many of you may be wondering how often to speak these blessings. Let me tell you something. It's not about frequency, it's about consciousness. One blessing spoken with complete understanding and feeling is worth more than 1,000 spoken mechanically. Let me share with you another principle about self-blessing that most people miss. When you bless yourself, you are not speaking to yourself as a mortal being, you are speaking as God to His creation. For you are both the blesser and the blessed, the creator and the creation. Think about this carefully. When God said, "Let there be light," He didn't doubt whether it was possible. He didn't wonder about the process. He simply declared it and knew it was done. This is exactly how you must speak your blessings upon yourself. Consider the power in this understanding. When you say, "I am blessed," you are speaking with the same authority that created the universe. For your I am is the same I am that spoke all things into being. Let me share with you how to handle doubts when they arise after speaking your blessings, and they will arise. Many of you speak a blessing upon yourself and then immediately begin to question whether it will work. But I tell you now, doubt is simply your former consciousness trying to maintain its position. Consider what happens in nature when you plant a seed. The seed doesn't doubt whether it will become what it is meant to be. It simply begins its transformation according to its nature. Your blessings work the same way. They are spiritual seeds planted in the fertile soil of consciousness. Let me give you a deeper understanding of how this works. When you say, I am blessed with perfect health, for example, you have planted a seed in consciousness. Now, just as a physical seed needs time to sprout and grow, your blessing needs time to externalize itself in your world. And this is crucial, while the outer manifestation may take and change in consciousness is immediate when the blessing is properly spoken. For you see, the moment you speak a blessing with understanding and feeling, You have altered the entire spiritual substance of your universe. Many of you may be thinking, but Neville, I've spoken blessings before and nothing changed. Let me tell you something my teacher Abdullah taught me. Nothing changes because you spoke the words. Things change because you became what you declare. Let me share with you another principle about self-blessing that most of the world has missed. When you bless yourself, you are not trying to influence God to give you something. You are exercising your divine power as God individualized. For your consciousness is God and your word is His word. Consider the story of the prodigal son. Notice how the father didn't wait for someone else to bless his returning son. He blessed him himself. This is exactly what you must do. You must be both the father giving the blessing and the son receiving it. This brings me to a deeper truth about self-blessing. When you say I am blessing, you are acknowledging both your divine nature, I am, and your human experience, blessed. You are bringing heaven and earth together in your consciousness. Let me share with you what I call the 7 pillars of self-blessing. These are the foundational principles that must be understood if your blessings are to have their full creative power. The first pillar is recognition. You must recognize that you are the one who blesses. Not your personality, not your mortal self, but your I am. For when you say I am blessed, you are speaking as God individualized, not as a mortal being seeking favors. The second pillar is authority. When you bless yourself, you must speak with complete authority. Consider how God speaks in Scripture, not with doubt, not with hesitation, but with absolute authority. Let there be light. These are words of complete authority. The third pillar is feeling. Your blessings must be accompanied by the feeling of fulfillment. Not the feeling of wanting to be blessed, but the feeling of being blessed. For feeling is the secret, and without the proper feeling, your words lack power. The fourth pillar is present tense. Notice how God never said there will be light. He said, let there be light. Your blessings must be spoken in the present tense, for consciousness knows only now. The fifth pillar is persistence. Not the persistence of mechanical repetition, but the persistence of maintaining the consciousness of being blessed. For your blessing must become your dominant state of consciousness. The sixth pillar is understanding. You must understand that your blessing is not creating something new. It is acknowledging what already exists in consciousness. For all blessings already exist in the spiritual realm, waiting to be claimed. And the seventh pillar is gratitude. When you bless yourself, you must feel grateful not for what will come, but for what already is. For gratitude is the evidence of faith, and faith is the substance of things hoped for. Let me share with you how these 7 pillars work together. When you recognize your true identity as God individualized, speak with divine authority, feel the reality of your blessing, maintain present tense awareness, persist in the consciousness, understand the principle, and feel genuine gratitude, your blessing must manifest. Consider how this differs from what most people do. Most people speak blessings from their mortal consciousness, with doubt in their voice, feeling the lack rather than the fulfillment, thinking of future fulfillment, giving up at the first sign of delay, lacking understanding of the principle, and feeling no gratitude until they see results. Let me share with you what I call the 3 stages of self-blessing manifestation. Most people don't understand these stages, and that's why they often give up before their blessings manifest. The first stage is spiritual. This happens instantly when you speak your blessing with understanding and feeling. In this stage, you have literally rearranged the spiritual substance of your universe. This is the most crucial stage, for it is the only stage where real creation takes place. The second stage is mental. This is where your mind begins to align with your blessing. You start to think differently, see opportunities differently, and respond to life differently. Many people mistake this for mere positive thinking, but I tell you now, it is far more than that. It is your consciousness reorganizing itself according to your blessing. The third stage is physical. This is where your outer world begins to reflect your blessing. Now, here's what's fascinating about these stages. They must occur in this order. You cannot skip the spiritual stage and go straight to the physical. You cannot bypass the mental stage and expect outer results. Consider the words of Scripture, first the blade, then the ear, after that the full corn in the ear. This is describing these three stages. The blade is the spiritual acceptance. The ear is the mental alignment. And the full corn is the physical manifestation. Let me share with you how to recognize when you're in each stage. In the spiritual stage, you feel an inner knowing, a deep peace about your blessing. There might be no outer evidence yet, but you know it is done. In the mental stage, you begin to think thoughts that align with your blessing naturally, without effort. If you've blessed yourself with abundance, for example, you naturally begin to think abundant thoughts. If you've blessed yourself with health, you naturally begin to think healthy thoughts. In the physical stage, your outer world begins to rearrange itself to match your blessing. But, and this is crucial, by the time you reach this stage, you're no longer anxious about it. For you see, you've already experienced the reality of reality in consciousness. Let me give you a deeper understanding of how these stages work together. When you say, I am blessed with perfect health, you instantly create this reality in the spiritual realm. This is stage one. Then your mind begins to align with this new reality. You begin to think like a healthy person, act like a healthy person, make decisions like a healthy person. This is stage two. Finally, your body and circumstances begin to reflect this new reality. But by this time, you're no longer desperate to happen, because you've been living in the Kalpanic conscious, both perfect teachers 1 and 2. Many of you make the mistake of looking for physical evidence before you've allowed the spiritual and mental stages to complete their work. But I tell you now, this is like digging up a seed to see if it's growing. You must allow each stage to unfold in its perfect timing. Let me share with you what I call the 4 states of consciousness in self-blessing. Understanding these states is crucial, for your blessing will manifest according to the state from which you speak it. The first state is the state of desire. This is where most people begin. They speak blessings from a consciousness of wanting, of needing, of lacking. But I tell you now, this state cannot produce results, for it perpetuates the very lack it seeks to overcome. The second state is the state of hope. This is better than desire, but still not powerful enough. When you speak blessings from hope, you are acknowledging that fulfillment is possible, but you haven't yet accepted it as fact in consciousness. The third state is the state of faith. Now we're moving into creative power. When you speak blessings from faith, you are speaking with conviction, with certainty, with knowing. But there's an even higher state. The fourth state is the state of knowing. This is the highest state, the state from which God creates. When you speak blessings from this state, you are speaking as God individualized, knowing that what you declare must manifest. Consider how these states progress. In the state of desire, you say, I want to be blessed. In the state of hope, you say, I might be blessed. In the state of faith, you say, I will be blessed. But in the state of knowing, you simply say, I am blessed. Let me share with you how to move from one state to another. The movement from desire to hope happens naturally as you study and understand the law. The movement from hope to faith happens through testing the law and seeing results. But the movement from faith to knowing, this is the crucial transition. The state of knowing comes when you fully realize your own divine nature. When you understand that you are God individualized, that your consciousness is the only reality, that your word is God's word, then you naturally speak blessings from the state of knowing. Many of you may be wondering how to achieve this state of knowing. Let me tell you something, it's not achieved. It's recognized. It's not something you become. It's something you already are. Your task is to remove the veils that hide this truth from your awareness. Let me share with you what I call the 5 proofs of effective self-blessing. These are the signs that tell you your blessing is taking root in consciousness and must therefore manifest in your world. The first proof is peace. When you've spoken of blessing effectively, you feel a deep peace about it. Not the peace of resignation, but the peace of knowing. For you see, when you truly know something is done in consciousness, all anxiety about it disappears. The second proof is naturalness. Your blessing begins to feel natural to you. You no longer have to convince yourself of it. It becomes as natural as breathing, as natural as your own name. The third proof is indifference to appearances. You find yourself unmoved by contradictory circumstances, not because you're practicing positive thinking, but because you know the reality exists in consciousness, not in appearance. The fourth proof is changed inner conversation. Your habitual thoughts and internal dialogue naturally align with your blessing. You don't have to force it. It happens spontaneously because consciousness always produces thoughts that match its state. The fifth proof is inspired action. You find yourself naturally taking actions that align with your blessing, not from effort or planning, but from an inner prompting that feels completely natural. Remember, dear friends, that speaking blessings upon yourself is not an act of egotism. It is an acknowledgement of your divine nature. For you are God individualized, and your word has all the creative power of the universe behind it when spoken from that understanding. Let the truth of this sink deep into your consciousness. You are blessed, not because someone else blessed you, but because you have recognized and claimed your divine inherent through the power of self-blessing. That's the message I want to leave with you tonight. Not because it's comfortable, but because it's true. Not because it's what you expected to hear, but because it's what you needed to hear. Remember, your blessings create your reality when spoken from the consciousness of who you really are. And isn't that worth thinking about?